Welcome. This is British National Party Television coming to you from Nelson in Lancashire. Now, Nelson is a town that over the last few years has been heavily colonised by Islam, and it is believed that shortly Muslims will be in the majority in this town. Now, as the number of Muslims has increased, so has the number of attacks by Muslims on the indigenous population of the town. Now, many people believe that these attacks are a deliberately coordinated attempt to push the indigenous population out of the town and make it an exclusively Muslim enclave. Of course, most of these attacks are of a very low level. You get in the form of abuse and vandalism and intimidation, dog waste shoved through letterboxes and that sort of thing. But every so often there is a serious incident. And a serious incident, a violent incident, took place here just a couple of days ago. Now, we're joined by Councillor Brian Parker of the BNP. He's a BNP Councillor in this town. And he has been called in by local residents asking him to highlight this issue. Now, Councillor Parker, could you begin by explaining to our viewers exactly what happened here a couple of nights ago?
Yes, on the 5th of November, Guy Fawkes night, a crowd of about 40 people with scarves around their faces, described as Asians.
Scarves around the faces?
That's right. Described as Asians, but we know they're Muslims.
Right.
Because this would be unfair to, say, the Hindus or the Chinese, who don't do this sort of thing. They haven't got a plan to take over this town.
You're one of the people who believe there's a deliberate campaign to remove the people from this town, are you?
Yeah, it's sort of ethnic cleansing, stealth ethnic cleansing of the British population.
So what did they do on bonfire night?
They started firing fireworks into the entrance behind me, the main entrance to the Lord Nelson Hotel.
Right.
And they attacked a couple. One man was hospitalised.
Hospitalised?
Broken ribs. His female companion, she just had bruising.
So they were beaten up, really?
They were, yeah. And another man, he had a firework shoved down his back, and the landlord of the premises has a photo of the man stripped to the waist and a photo of his back, and it clearly shows the injuries.
So he's been badly burnt by these fireworks?
So he's been burnt, yes.
So now I believe that there has been bits of bother, people coming to this pub before, and that they only now, or many of the customers, come by taxi alone. Is that correct?
That's right, because at night it can be hazardous being a lone white male coming into the centre, especially to this pub, because a car with Muslims in will pull up, beat up the man and then clear off fast. So it's intimidation, bit of violence, and then people get frightened to come into this pub. So that's why they prefer taxis, a lot of them, to drop them off right at the entrance.
But it makes a night out a lot more expensive.
It does, yeah.
And do you think there are a lot of people in this area who live in fear of these sort of attacks? It's commonplace, would you say?
Yeah, I would say so, because even a Labour councillor brought it to the attention of the councillors at a meeting about 2 years ago.
And how are the pubs surviving in the town? That used to be a very lively place, Nelson. I know that it was known for a good night out. Is that still the case?
No, definitely not. With the demographic catastrophe, the Muslim invasion of this town, there are now only 2 pubs left in Nelson.
And how many do you think there were 20 years ago, say?
In Nelson, probably about 10 maybe.
So there's been a massive reduction in public houses.
Yeah.
Have any other businesses suffered from this sort of attacks? I believe there was a butcher's shop that suffered badly.
No, that's right. It was a traditional British butcher's, but it was in the vicinity of the biggest mosque in Nelson. So what happened was one day Asians arrived outside, Muslims, and they assaulted the owner. And then there was a threat to burn the premises down. Then shortly afterwards, the usual thing, sold up.
And what's the shop now?
It's a traditional halal.
Oh, there's a surprise. That's one way of acquiring a business cheaply, I suppose.
It certainly is.
And do you feel, I know that you are a Nelson resident, and your family's been here for many years.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this whole situation, personally?
Personally, I don't like coming into Nelson Town Centre. It used to be all right, but this situation, to me, it's horrific. We're seeing the destruction of things that we value, our way of life, changing to another way of life, and I can't do with it.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us. Now, I'd like to close by asking our viewers to dwell on one particular facet of this whole thing, and that is, what kind of leaders do we have that can consistently go on about social justice and human rights for foreigners, and yet they allow these foreigners to come here, abuse, humiliate and exploit us, and just do nothing realistically to combat it?